What do you call a boomerang that won't come back? A stick.
What made the best pets? Probably dogs. Probably dogs. That's probably quite a boring answer, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. My granddad has had dogs. That's kind of where all my dog experience has come from.
And for me, it's cats, of course. The best benefit of cats is you don't have to walk it in the rain, in the morning, in the evening. I got my new home. I wanted a pet. I immediately wanted a cat because I was brought up with many animals at home. We had several cats, a dog, but in the past we had also birds and chickens and other kind of animals. But I wanted a cat because a cat is more on its own. Doesn't need enough attention as a dog. But I was looking for a cat in the shelter, but Charlie was pretty relaxed. She has a cool feature. She's black and white, but she has a white mustache.
I met them when they were 5 weeks old, and I went to pick my puppy. Pumpkin was the colour of a pumpkin as a baby, and I picked her up at the beginning of October, so during spooky season, so it made sense to call her Pumpkin. Incredibly small and bitey and fluffy.
I've had cats. I've had goldfish. But probably the most obscure pet I've had is a stick insect. And they're only supposed to live for 6 months, and mine lived for 2 years, so what does that say?
Yeah, God, we're talking ages ago, yeah. So I had two, I think they're called Sandy Matilda, 2 chickens. We owned like a little farm bit, so we kind of just moved them there in the end. Because we had some pigs there, like 6 pigs as well. That was it. We had loads of eggs from them though, that was very good. There were 6 pigs. It was only like a little small plot of land, but yeah, obviously they were quite. There was a really scruffy one I remember called Paul. He was probably my favourite one because it was really scruffy.
If you scratch Pumpkin's butt, she growls, and then if you stop, she'll keep growling at you until you stop petting her again. Not a bad growl, it's just an attention growl. It's a how dare you stop petting me. Please, could you get back to that? I find that he's just a quirky dog in general. He's really goofy. It's like he always asks permission before he goes on the furniture. He's incredibly intelligent. That's what I like about him. He's really smart. I'm teaching him sign language at the moment. And French. Commands in French are very useful. Mostly because it gives him something to do. He gets bored if I don't give him enough mental stimulation.
Just thought probably wasn't the right time to get a dog. Just bought a house. Dogs, I don't know if you've seen a dog, quite expensive. Quite expensive bits of kit. So I thought, I should wait. Maybe next year, maybe the year after. The fear of not being here all the time. I think it'll be alright when they were older. But yeah, especially a young puppy, you don't want to really leave them home alone.
They're very, very lazy cats. But the most fun thing about the cats was they knew when it was weekend. So when it was weekend and I was sleeping longer, they came to my room and they tapped on my door saying, let me in, and they jumped on my bed with me. And they, all the 2 were sleeping with me in bed, so... one cat is called Shumi. It's named after Schumacher from Formula 1. You can describe him really like Garfield from the comic book because he has the same color. He's fat and lazy and only wants to eat. But if you grab him, you think that it's one chunky boy, but it's all muscle.
I think in general it's got to be probably cats and dogs. I feel like they have more personality of anything. I suppose you could do more of them. Like you'd care about them. I mean, I remember I looked after a dog probably for about 6 months or to a year, kind of looked after one. And then when he went back to his own, I think his owner was on holiday for a bit, so we looked after him for about a year. But I'd say they probably make the best ones in terms of how I've seen. But in my opinion, obviously I've got the lizards, so I quite like those. It'll be 8 years old now. It's a bearded dragon, and yeah, she's really nice. She's laid eggs, like infertile eggs, which I didn't know could be done. But yeah, no, she like looks around. She's very aware of like her surroundings and that, and she learns, like she knows when she's gonna get fed.
I met her at the dog shelter rescue centre thing that I went to for the first time, and yeah, she jumped up at me. It was really good. She was a good dog. Yeah, she was really happy, and she was wagging her tail, and she wanted to just be all over me, because she's affectionate. She is a bit jumpy.
Animals? Yeah, animals are cool. My favourite animal is probably penguin, to be honest. Just seem alright. They just seem alright.
Oh god, there were so many ducks. Okay, well, my duck Smaug, okay, used to sit on top of the food pile. That's why I called her Smaug, because every time it was feeding time and I put the food out, she'd step right in the middle of it and just sit there. And I always appreciated the fact that Thea Duck would let the females eat first. He'd just step back, and when they'd finished eating, he'd eat what's left. I thought that was very gentlemanly of him. And Puddle, well, I love her so much. And I like the way she used to just, like, I'd fill up the pool and she would just get in there and she would splash all the water out, so I'd have to fill it up again instantly. They used to, well, while I was filling the pool up for them, they used to all jump in at the same time. All of them. And just freak out. It was great. I built them little steps when the babies were ducklings, and that was pretty cute. They used to climb up the steps and fall head first into the pool.
Yes, I'm very big on, very big on animals. There's obviously some I don't like wasps really, like hornets or bees, but in terms of everything else, I'm a very big fan. And in terms of like wild animals as well.
Now, for the people who are choosing a new pet as for the first time, I will recommend a cat, because you don't have kittens are very fast an adult, and with a dog you have to do so many walkies outside. With cats you have to be less strict than a dog, and I would recommend people to choose a cat.
Yeah, she's a good dog, and she can't see a ball at the moment, so I'm thinking of getting a light up in the dark ball.
I wasn't too worried about Puddle, to be honest with you. She's a survivor. That, and I always fed the foxes anyway, so they never bothered me. Yeah, the foxes left the ducks alone, and they left them alone for years, so Puddle climbing the chain link fence with just her feet was both hilarious and slightly terrifying.
From my point of view, dogs are more active and cats are more chillax in that regard. Animals are more like themselves than people are, so in that regard I like animals more.
We looked after, there was a pheasant that got injured and they were going to kill it, but we looked after that for about a year. I suppose that you could call that a pet as well.
Yeah, she loves the beach. She digs holes a lot. She's actually got quite a lot of holes in the garden, which I'm not very pleased about. But she loves holidays. She doesn't like the car journeys though. She's a bit uneven, unsettled in the car. But that's animals. Yeah, that's why a lot of people have cats, because they can be self-sufficient. Not that dogs can't be self-sufficient, it's just that they can't go out the cat for that.
It's just a bit mental. Like, it just, like, I don't know, it wasn't really, I mean, it's a dog. It was just weird. Like, it just did weird things that dogs shouldn't do. Like, it just ate grass. Like, a weird amount of grass. Like, you see dogs eating grass and you think, alright, that's just a dog. But it ate the lawn. They didn't have a mowing machine. I'm not taking the mick. Genuinely. It grazed. And house plants.